it is Finish Friday, and I thought today I would show you how to make custom waxes. Now, before I learned how to do this myself, I didn't even know that you could do this, and it has opened an entire world of different finishes now that I know this. So I wanted to impart my learnings to you and see where you guys go with it. So, okay, so what you will need, a couple of things. So I painted this board for you to for demonstration purposes, so you can see different waxes on a straight surface and on a carved surface. You're gonna need a chip brush or whatever waxing brush that you use, but because you're gonna add color to it, I use these chip brushes because they're disposable, and I label them with like dark wax, light wax, colored wax, so I don't mess up my big expensive clear wax brush or my big expensive dark wax brush. I keep them separate. So this is a great alternative. They're a couple bucks a piece. You're gonna need some stir sticks. I just use these tongue depressors I get at the hardware store. You're gonna need a couple squares of cardboard. I get enough Amazon boxes, I've got plenty. And then you are going to need this. This is called Vintage Wood. Vintage Wood Mind Your Own Beeswax. Now this is a product from Amy Howard at Home. You know I use her products exclusively. And it is made from beeswax. And it is not a hard wax, it is a liquid wax. And so the liquid wax allows you to mix things in with it. Now your hard waxes that come in like the puck are not going to allow you to do this. So it is very important that you get a liquid wax, and I highly recommend it. It's all natural, and it hardens really, really hard to seal your pieces. So you'll need that. And then you've got several options depending on what you want to do. So with my waxes, you can mix several things. I'm going to show you 5 different things today that you can mix with your waxes. The first is just straight up chalk style paint or chalk paste paint. Again, my favorite is Amy Howard at Home's One Step Paint. And this is like my favorite color. It's a dark teal. You can also mix in milk paint. And this is the powdered form of milk paint. And this is what I also get from Amy Howard at Home, and this color is Riviera Blue. It's very, very pretty. The next thing you can mix in are mica powders, and I have 2 different mica powders here. There's a gray one that you can kind of see. It's called Meteor, and it's a dark shimmery gray. It's just gorgeous. It leaves a very subtle sheen to it when you use it. This is gold mica powder, and again, that's very, very pretty. They also have silver mica powder. And then there are pigment powders, and pigment powders are a little bit different. They're not mica, but they come, you see how beautifully bright that is? These are sourced in France, like legit, from a quarry in France, in Provence, in the area of Provence, France. And she's got, I think, 6 or 7 different colors that she sells, and you can get them both through Amy Howard at Home or her sister company, A Maker Studio. And as always, I will link the links. I will put the links to these products in both the Facebook post, in my blog post, and if you're watching this on YouTube, you will see it in the description of the YouTube video. So. Okay, so I'm going to use 5 different methods for your enjoyment today. So what you're going to do, I like to shake up my wax a little bit, and you're just going to pour a little bit on to, a little bit goes a long way. And you can see, I'm going to just bring this in front of the camera here. Hey Lisa! Hi Lily! What's very bad? Let's see what she say. Oh. Lily, I can't see what's very bad. Okay, you see that? Maybe the filter's acting up and that's what you're seeing. I hope not. So it sticks, you can see it sticks upside down, but when you pour it on, you can see it squeezes out of the bottle like that, okay? Okay, so then you're gonna take your stir stick and you're just gonna mix a little bit of whatever medium you want to into the wax. Now I'm gonna use my paint first. And again, a little goes a long way, especially if you're working with dark colors. So from a pigment standpoint, I won't give you an entire color lesson, but the darker the pigment, the more, the easier it is going to be to color your wax. So I was gonna put in a little bit, like that, like just a teeny tiny bit. And then I'm gonna take my end of my stir stick and I'm just gonna stir it. So now your wax is the color of the paint. And because wax is translucent, it's going to give you a translucent finish with a hint of paint. So it's not gonna color it like paint does. Okay, so I'm gonna take my chip brush. The way that you work your wax is you're gonna dip it in and then offload it a little bit. You don't want to glob it onto your piece without offloading it a little bit. And I'm going to demonstrate for you here using just one of the corners of this piece. So, okay. And I painted this white so you could see the color of the wax the best. Now you can either leave it on there like that, or you can buff it off. Gosh, the light is making that difficult to see. Oh yeah, Lily, the air here is horrible. Absolutely, it's terrible. Okay, so can you see that? Now you're gonna wanna let that dry for 30 minutes, 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the humidity. And then you're gonna wanna come back with a lint-free rag and you're gonna buff it off. And that's going to allow it to cure over the next 48 to 72 hours and harden. And if you don't like this much, you can wipe off a little bit now, but for right now, I'm gonna leave it like that and then let it continue to come to tack, okay? Isn't that cool? You can do that in any color. So, and it seals, so you don't like have to create a wash and then wax on top of it, and eliminates the step completely. Okay, so that's one method. The second method, see, I don't even need that much wax. It's not much at all. Okay, let's try the milk paint next. Just going to pull out a little bit, like that, and dump it in there. Now I probably need to use a different wax piece. Just 1 second. Okay. Wanted to grab a rag, and I'm just gonna offload this so it doesn't have the wax, because I don't want to waste 5 brushes on this. That'd be 10 bucks. Okay, so I'm gonna dip it in my wax and then apply it. Now this gives a little bit more of a lighter sheen. So this is if you want a much softer look. I didn't get enough. I got too much the last time and not enough this time. Okay. Okay, there we go. And I forgot to do this piece so you can see what it looks like on a straight edge. So I'll show this to you. You can kind of see what it looks like right now. But I will show you up close when I am all done. Okay. And I'll just quickly show this to you. Okay, can you see what this looks like? It's not as pigmented as this one, as that one. It just gives a little bit of a lighter colored effect. Okay, then I'm gonna go back and do this on this piece because I totally forgot. When you're working with wood that has a lot of grain that shows through, even if not, always apply wax in the same direction as the grain. Otherwise you'll get a really sloppy look. I got a piece of hair here. Okay. Okay, so you can see that when that's done. The next one, so milk paint. Let's do the mica powder. This is my favorite. My favorite. Okay. Okay, so this one, you're just gonna take a little bit, again, like this. I'm gonna dump it in the wax. I think the mica powder is like 10 bucks, plus or minus a couple dollars. I can't remember exactly. Oh, look at how pretty that is. It's very shimmery. Okay, so like this. Now it's pretty. When you work on a carved surface like this, you want to get in all the nooks and crannies. And then, like you said you wanted to, you can wipe off a little bit like that to get more of the paint underneath. Think of the color combinations you could use, like pick a color of truck style paint and then add this. Hey Stacy, see how pretty this is? And I don't know if you can tell in this light, but I'll kind of go like that to see if you can see how shimmery it is. Can you see that? I love mica powders. So, see that. And then I will also do the, and if you have grain, this is gonna pick up the grain and highlight it, which is, you know, a very, very pretty look. So, okay, so far you can see, so I have my camera backwards, so, okay, you see that? See how this one is not as pigmented as this one with the paint? Okay, okay, so, all right, next up, we've got pigment powder. I've kind of got a theme and colors going on here. I will do, let me do the gold so you guys can see what that looks like on the carved piece because it's super pretty. Super pretty. Okay. Stacy, I feel really bad for you in this weather. My friend Stacy has some lung issues and this has got to be absolutely horrendous for her. How are you doing? Okay, so this, they have gold and silver, so this just adds a metallic element to, sometimes I forget to hold it up because of the camera. Again, if you can go as heavy or light as you want, and if you wipe it away, it will just sit in the crevices. But this would be so pretty over like a black. so you can see. So, oh, other side. There you go. You can kind of see what that looks like. Okay. And I will also add that to my straight board. And you can go against the grain to make sure you get it in all the crevices, but then before you're done, make sure you go back over it going with the grain. Okay. This is the mica powder that I also use in my kintsugi kits, so I love this stuff. Okay, finally, last but not least, we have our pigment powders. Now, like I said, this comes from Provence, France, and I use this in my plaster art, along with mica powders and paints, depending on the colors that I want. This is going to be fairly similar to the Riviera Blue milk paint that I use, but you'd think I'd pick a different color. I just naturally gravitate towards blues and turquoises. They're absolutely my favorite color. Okay, so there's no more room left on this piece, but I will show it to you on the straight piece, and that looks like this. It's easier to handle like that. So and of course, there's a dog hair in there because dog hair in my house gets on absolutely everything. So I'm gonna lay this on a little heavier just because I want a little bit more color. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna show you, again, this. Well, hello, Josh. How are you? I haven't seen you forever. I used to work with Josh when I was doing nonprofit consulting. I miss you guys. Okay, so so this is the paint. This is the, this is the chalk style paint. This is the milk paint. This is the silver meteor mica powder. This is the gold mica powder. And then this is the pigment powder, all mixed with waxes. So if you guys can just use your imaginations, like, so I know Stacy does a lot of like raw wood, very rustic stuff, and you can add a little bit of white mica powder or paint into it and create a very striated, rustic look, but a little bit of white over it. You can, I mean, really the possibilities are endless with color combinations. So just one tip I'll give you when working with color combinations, you either want to combine colors that are next to each other on the color wheel or exactly opposite. So for if you're going to use like a green, you'd either want to go yellow or blue. Or if you're going to do something across the color wheel, you're going to want to do the opposite of green. So, which I think it's red, but that wouldn't be right because that would look really horrendous. But you don't want it to be jarring. You want it to be complementary. So you can look up complementary colors, just Google that, and you can get color combinations that are complementary and try those out in your wax and paint combinations. So are there any questions, you guys? This was a game changer for me, and I love showing people how they have so many options with waxes that they probably didn't even know that they had. So I'm gonna just check to see if there are any color combinations, if there's any questions. I don't see anybody right now, but if you think of something or you're working with your waxes and you have a question, you can reach out to me with any question or about furniture painting or in particular these waxes, and you can email me at revivebyheidi@gmail.com, or you can go to my Facebook page and send me a message that way too. Okay, thanks guys. Happy painting. Have a great weekend. Bye.